Hello, everyone. I guess this is an impromptu part two because I didn't know my phone screen record had an hour limit. Didn't even realize I'd been talking for an hour. That's kind of crazy. But where we cut off, I was talking about Phoenix Find a Boss. I didn't like it. It's well designed and everything. I get it, but I really struggled with it. I had to turn the game on easy mode because, I understand. Again, it's a skill issue thing, and I will take that L. But it got to the point where I just I wasn't getting much better. I mean, I got all right, but I just really started just not enjoying myself. I took the game off. I came back to it because I knew I was getting frustrated, but I was just having a bad time, and at that point, I was just tired and wanted to finish the game. Tunic's a game where if you like Zelda-like games, very much recommend. But I think all in all, maybe wasn't for me, but I beat it anyway. Next, we have Untitled Goose Game. So, I had this game since around the time it came out because it's funny English little goose game, and it's a puzzle game. And as I said before, I'm not good at puzzles. And you may be questioning, hey, why do you buy puzzle games if you're not good at them? Short answer, I'm stupid. Um, but Untitled Goose Game. So this is I beat these 4 Shovel Knight games in 1 week. I beat Faerun in 1 week, Toy Genesis, and I beat so many games that week that I wanted just more short games to just get out of the way. Get a Roboto as well, I believe, which I'll talk about, of course, after this. But yeah, I thought Untitled Goose Game is not long. I'll knock it out since I'm doing a bunch of shorter games, and I haven't got really anything a whole lot to say about it. I mean, it's a very charming game, right? The way the music's done is quite what's the word? Well, it's so ambient. It adapts to the actions you're doing. It's very whimsical and fun in that way. There are all the silly tasks you got to do to beat the game. It's fun. If you like puzzle games, if you like cheeky geese, it sounds so weird. I would recommend Untitled Goose Game. It's just a good time. It's a good comedy game. There's also a video online of kind of how they pitched Untitled Goose Game, and funnily enough, they didn't pitch the game with a gameplay demo. They pitched it with an animation, and it's quite funny. So I reckon if you look it up, maybe type in Untitled Goose Game animation or pitch, it should come up. Next is Got a Roboto. I got a Roboto because one, I like the Volvo Digital. So I like Inscription. I trust their games overall, and two, it looked like a cute little short Metroidvania, and that's exactly what it was. There's nothing over the top amazing happening in this game, but it is a delightful one. It's a nice 3-hour game. You're playing as this cat and a robot, and you gotta save your owner. You gotta navigate. I believe it's like a ship or something. You gotta navigate this area, take down all the baddies in your way, and once again, save your owner. Or is there a deeper mystery? Who knows? It was absolutely. The game goes for sale quite cheap. And considering how charming this game was and how just smooth the gameplay is, I very much do recommend it. Next is the Plucky Squire. So this is a game I've been waiting for a while. We all know we all do. I'm assuming you're a Pokemon fan if you're here. For some reason, you watched all of part 1, you're watching part 2 of this. You gotta be a Pokemon fan, I imagine. The person who did the art design designed a chunk of this game is James Turner, someone who worked at Pokemon. And I played some side Game Freak games with his art style before, like Harmonite, Tembo the Badass Elephant. I was really interested in this because I like his art style. And the concept seemed really cool, jumping in and out of the book. And the game's got an incredible art style. It's got a really good idea behind it. The jumping in, it's semi-seamlessly jumping in and out of the storybook is incredible. And the art of the storybook, is incredible. But the gameplay just, oh no, I didn't. I finished the game, of course, it's on this list, but the gameplay didn't super vibe with me, to be honest. By the end of it, I thought, okay, it's over now. All right. Which, from I've seen bits here and there, it seems people somewhat, agree with me. It's not they're directly agreeing with my take, but people with similar opinions that Art style's amazing, super charming. It's a great idea. Gameplay's a bit, uh, uh, yeah. I guess disappointing is the word. It feels really too harsh, but yeah, I guess I didn't enjoy the game as much as I was hoping I would going into it. But I'm glad I played it. Next, Axiom Verge, which is another. I beat a lot of Metroidvania games this year, didn't I? I'm only just realizing now. It's like what, six of them? Six? Yeah, it's like six of them. Axiom Verge is a sci-fi Metroidvania which has some more, I don't know, meta elements, kind of like interesting concepts. Overall, the gameplay is it's polished. It's fun. It's a really solid Metroidvania with some really nice weapons. I did start playing two, but I couldn't get into it. I don't know. It was just fatigue after having just beat Axiom Verge one, but yeah, I didn't continue playing two. But one is a very nice, solid sci-fi Metroidvania. So if you like any of those things, I do recommend this game. What's next? Hylic. Hylic is bloody weird. It's this RPG game with this like super psychedelic art style, which I think the game's also supposed to be a bit of like, yeah, it's like somewhat of a parody on RPG tropes. Like, I don't think you level up like the entire game, and then right at the end you level up to 99. It's a super weird game. It can be quite busy on the eyes, so if you get like maybe sensory issues, I don't know if that's the right thing to say, but like if you're easily flustered by busy stuff, maybe don't play this. But if you want something really bloody weird, play Hylic. It's an interesting game. It goes on sale for really cheap. I did start Hylic 2 and didn't like the 3D movement too much. Next is Loco Roco. Loco Roco is a game I have been interested in for years. I've had a PSP since I was like 9, but I never actually got Loco Roco. I got Loco Roco the first time on my PS4. And over that, my main Loco Roco memory is PlayStation Pro, whatever, where it's the Metal Gear Solid X Loco Roco stage, which is really quite funny. But Loco Roco is a game that I enjoyed playing, but you could not make me 100%. Because in all the ways it's fun. It's got this fun, goopy, silly, squidgy art style, which the art style and the music, I didn't realize how good the music was going to be in this game. We all, like I said, we don't all know the main Loco Roco theme, but the main Loco Roco theme for one is really quite nice. And depending on the type of, are they called locos? Depending on the type of loco you have, depending on how they sing along with songs. So it's really interesting in that respect. But the music was really quite good. The gameplay is quite simple. You gotta just kind of move the stage to move like the loco. And it was fun and it's super charming. But like I got the distinct impression that if I tried 100% the game, I would pull out my own teeth. So as long as you're not trying to 100% it, which maybe is different for me, you're very much going to be different for me. I bet like everyone's different. You get what I mean. I'm overcomplicating things, but if you want a really cute, charming, casual game to play Loco Roco. If you want to, like, personally to me, a quite difficult 100% completion, by all means, go into it. What do we have next? I keep yawning. Well, I'm pretty sure no one's listening at this point. Next, we have the Pokemon trading card game. I put replay after it because, yes, this was it's not the second time I played it, it's like the third or fourth. Third or fourth time, I played the game because I had the game. I had the Game Boy game. I got it when I was little. Got it from a cash generators, and I've had it for years, and I really liked it. And I never could get all the cards because you can't get them all because of a glitch. Anyway, yeah. So I wanted to try a Haymaker deck this time around. Haymaker deck is like the OG good kind of Pokemon meta deck from what I understand. It's just got mostly because it's got basics, so you don't need to evolve up. It gets good damage quite like really quick in comparison to the rest of the game's kind of like meta at the time, And yeah, it didn't take too long to make the deck. I did abuse save states. I played it on Nintendo Switch Online. And I used save states to get the cards I wanted from packs, so that saved time. But after I set up the deck, man, it just demolishes the game. And you know what? It was really fun, and I'm glad I played through it for that deck. Next is a big one. Metaphor Refantasio. So, I haven't mentioned this before, but I quite like Persona. I'm a big Persona fan. Persona means a lot to me personally. Um, Probably shouldn't go into all now, but Persona 4 is a game that personally really helped me as a human being, really helped me accept parts of myself and embrace parts for myself, I guess I should say. Uh, the wording before sounded a little ominous. It's not ominous. Um, but yeah, Persona is a franchise or series that means a lot to me. It's helped me a lot. So when I saw Atlas were making a fantasy game, I thought, hell yeah, I want to play this. And we didn't get news on it for years. Then the trailer came out, and Johnny Awesome cried to it. About how and it kind of represents some of my mental state. I was so excited to finally see this game. And let me say, it's phenomenal. Um, and I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people say this game deserved Game of the Year over Astrobot. But I've explained myself on Astrobot in a previous video. Astrobot is pure whimsy. It's what the gaming industry needs, I think. Astrobot winning hopefully sends a sign to other big game developers to say, hey, we want shorter experiences. We want these tightly made, cute games. In contrast, you know, Metaphor with Fantasio is not short in the slightest. It is tightly designed though, but I spent 100 hours in this game over the course of a couple weeks, and man, it was a really good time. There's some improvements in this game that I really quite liked, like so in Persona, when you want to do a social, like you gotta know exactly what to say in order to kind of progress it optimally, so you can try and finish everything within the year. Meanwhile, in Metaphor, you get huh, in Metaphor, you acquire a substance called Magla, which you use to kind of increase your powers, get different archetypes, which are similar to your personas, except you any character can get any archetype, and you can mix and match their skills. The level of customization in this game is staggering. It's scary, even. Yeah, so answering better in these bonding times or social links increases the amount of magna you get. And instead of the entire social relationship hinging on you using a guide. Because that's one thing I remember. So when COVID hit, I played. I binged through all of Persona 5 Royal. I only beaten Persona 5 beforehand. I got that. I think I got Persona 5 on launch. I pre-ordered it. God, that was a while ago now, wasn't it? Anyway, when I played for Royal, I had a really good time. I did like the improvements they made and like the extra content, but I had a guide on every character for that entire game. And it's like a spreadsheet simulator, I believe it as, I think I may call it. But yeah, it's a bit annoying, right? You know, having to know exactly what to say why every time. So this game just letting you say whatever you want and rewarding you, you know, it rewards you for not being an ass with Magla, but like it let the game flow a lot easier to me, and I really hope whenever they show off Persona 6, or Persona 6 comes out, it's going to be like that for it as well, because I really like it. Sorry. And then there is the gameplay, so the battle system. So I would say, um, from what I understand, Metaphor is not as difficult as SMT, but it is harder than Persona. Like, I have more trouble with this game than I do a Persona game. I did play this on normal mode, no super hard. I did play it on hard, or like, you can't play it on Registry until after you beat the game. But you know, I play a lot of games, spiritual games on normal mode, and maybe when I get around to Persona 3 Reload, I'll play that on a harder difficulty because I've beaten P3P. But anyway, but with my experience of playing on normal, I would say I think it's more difficult than Persona because it uses the press turn system that's in SMT. So where if you hit the enemy's weakness, you get to go again. But if the enemy hits your weakness, they get to go again. And let me tell you, I I got really messed up sometimes. So it got me quite annoyed. But the gameplay, is great. It's this really, really solid RPG mechanic, especially the archetype system and the amount of customization you can have. And then there's the story. This story, man, it's incredible. It's this reconstruction of fantasy, and like one, and then like demolition and reconstruction of it. In a sense, it feels like one thing I said multiple times while playing the game was that I feel like they really looked at the word fantasy from many different angles and trying to interpret it in as many ways as they could to incorporate in the story. So this isn't just a game set in a fantasy setting, it's a game that's analyzing fantasy as a concept and what it means for people to believe in fantasy, to have a fantasy, right? And I thought that was really interesting. The characters are very cool. There's just like the main character talking, like even if it's not a whole lot, it's just nice. It's nicer than like a silent MC. The party members are all great. My favorite is Heimsmay. I think I'm saying his name right, even though I love him so much. I kept saying his name wrong. Um, this is gonna be spoilers, so skip ahead a bit. We don't hit spoilers by metaphor. But one thing that really upset me is that man, like all the women I liked in the game, and a lot of them ended up opposed to yours dying. Like I can't remember her name, but the one with the green lipstick. I love her. I love her so much, but she died, and I'm not happy about it. And then there's Juna's sister. She dies. She was also great, but haha, I'm a bisexual, so I stay winning. There's more, and more is my number one character of that game design wise. Like the Morgan, is that her name? The woman with green lipstick. Love her. Love Juna's sister, but more is my number one. I love him with all my heart and soul. More is so good. Uh, anyway, apart from to move on, next is Pokemon XD. So something that kind of happened in between playing these two games is that I had a really I'm still kind of in it. I'm getting better, but a very, very, very bad bout of mental health problems. There's like severe anxiety, and I just wanted anything to get my mind off that anxiety, so I decided to play XD. Didn't work entirely. Nearly had a couple of panic attacks while playing it, but I thought, yeah, I still enjoyed my time with it. So, XD is a game I do have physically. Yeah, I talked about this recently with my team, so I won't go on it too much. I got a short video explaining my team. XD is fun. I would recommend it anyone to give a try because it's like a different take on Pokemon, and by that I mean every battle is a double battle, and that does make the game somewhat more difficult. There's parts of the game which really annoyed me. The Fenac City stuff where you got to fight a bunch of goons. Well, we can't be using that word in 2025 like that anymore, can we? But that part's a pain in the ass. But overall, the game's fun. You know, especially if you haven't played it before. I really recommend it. Next is VVVVVV. So this is again Battle of Anxiety. It seems really short. Just thought I'd try it out. And yeah, I beat it in like 4 or 5 hours. It's a really nice, simple platform. Is that the right word? It's a decently challenging little indie game, and it tends to be really cheap. You want to trade it before you buy it, but I thought it was a good, solid little time. I share a kind of Steam thing with some friends, so when they get games, I get to play them. When I buy games, they get to play them, and that's how I played this game. So, you know, that was a good time not having to buy a game and playing through it. Next is Lunistis. I don't know how to say it, but this I got this on sale. It's only like £5 to begin with, but it's a really very solid 3D platformer. I like all these like kind of cheap to buy solid 3D platformers we're getting nowadays. We're getting like, you know, like Toy 1 or 2, Toy Genesis. We're getting Toy Saturn, I believe, soon. You got this, you know, the Spark Electric Jester. Actually, that's quite a chunk more expensive. That's like £18 for Spark free. But then, you know, we've got stuff like that, and like it's really quite a great thing because these games are really fun and they're so cheap. So like, if you really wanted to like sink your teeth into like a nice 3D platformer, but maybe you got limited funds. This game is great for it. It's got a main story. Once you beat the main story, you got a couple more characters you could play for the whole campaign with, and then you get an extra special ending for like getting all the collectibles. For like the money I got on sale for like £2, which like £5 like cheap enough, but I saw on sale, so I got it. Super worth the time, super cute game. I very much recommend it. Let's say about all of these. Next is Picto Quest. So again, anxiety moment. Picto Quest is well, Picross is like a thinky game. Helped me not think of my anxiety. So I bought it for like 59p, and I 100%ed it in the course of a couple of days. I spent like 20 hours in this game. And it's basically Picross with like some like RPG elements, in the sense that if you're not fast enough or you mess up too much, you will be knocked out and have to start all over again. Didn't really come into play for me much. I played a number of Picross games. Now, I did fail a couple of times. Once because I fell asleep while playing, but we ignore that. But yeah, this is it's 55. It's like £1 at most, I'm pretty sure. So if you're looking for a silly little, I say silly, not to mock the game, but if you're looking for a nice little Picross game, I recommend it. Sorry. Again. Next is Gnog. Gnog? I don't know. Gnog. Gnog is like this interactive puzzle box kind of game where you get shown all these little different environments that are in a box, in their own boxes, and you've got to just fit all of them and trying to solve little puzzles in order to finish the level. I don't know how else to describe it. It's a really kind of psychedelic's not the word. It's a artsy. I say that like it's derogatory. I mean that in a non-derogatory sense, but it's just a really interesting little like interactive experience, and the audio is quite good in it as well. Like it's a nice audio experience on top of being a really interesting interactive experience. I'm saying experience too much is getting annoying, but I just don't know how to describe this game. Like it's just lots of nice little puzzle boxes. I thought it was great fun. It's short. It's really short. I say really short. It's like a good 2-3 hours maybe. But it's a good 2-3 hours, And then at the bottom we have games I liked but didn't finish for whatever reason. The first is Victory Heat Rally. Wait, I forgot to mention the game here. I full on just skipped 2 games. Far Cry 3. So Far Cry 3 is a game that I've heard bits and pieces about. Of course I've heard about Far Cry. I have a friend who likes Far Cry 3, so I thought, screw it. I found the game for £1. I'll try it. And I was playing it. I was like, wow, I really see where like the modern open world formula is coming from. With you have to go up radio towers to fill more of the map. Like, I can see, this is where Breath of the Wild got it. And Tears of the Kingdom. If it goes back further back, and I just don't know, I'm ignorant to it, please let me know in the comments. I'm not an encyclopedia of open world games. I'm not even the biggest fan of them. But this game was interesting because I tend to play more Japanese games. So playing a very Western game, a very Western character, it was a nice change of pace, the game overall was fun. The story's whatever to me. I don't really care. The tattoo that goes on the guy's arm is quite cool. Let me think. The gameplay. So the gameplay for me. So I'm really bad at stealth, and if you play this game, you know why that's an issue. You need a lot of stealth in this game, and I'm god awful at it. But there was a couple times I was able to take enemy camps just by kind of sniping them and just taking over, and it did feel quite rewarding to be able to, stealth the game like that. Especially like me when I got the elegance of a brick falling into a glass house. But yeah. Next is Slady Princess. Slady Princess is another game that generally kind of called out to me for a while that I really wanted to play. The premise is just really intriguing to me. If you don't kill the princess, the world dies. But she's doing everything in her power to get you to not to, and I think that's interesting. The art style is really cool. All of the different portraits they have of the princess, all the different pieces of art, and even animation they did in the recent trailer is incredible. I highly recommend this game if you're looking for an interesting narrative, if you just want something that gets kind of weird, or even if you just like how the character looks. So then, as for games I liked but didn't finish, first is Victory Hit Rally. This is a racer game that I have recently fallen in love with. I say recently was when I played it a couple months ago. It's so I really kind of love the idea of the arcade racer. I don't know why. I just love the vibe, of the music, the announcer, the everything, and I feel like this game does that perfectly from my perspective, anyway. From my perspective, the game is great fun. It's really fast, but it's quite difficult. So if you're not like experiencing kart races, like I'm not super experienced with them. I've been playing Mario Kart all my life, but like I'm not amazing. I'm okay. Um, this game will kick your ass, especially if you want gold on every level. I found that where like I just wanted gold, but like they literally at times milliseconds off. And I just, but overall, the game's great. I just like I have this thing where if I forget to play a game I'm playing for like one day, I just won't go back to it. And that was an example. I really should go back to this game because I played a little bit since I've put it down, and it's still really fun. Next is Fez. I was enjoying Fez, but I had like a panic attack during it, and so it's bad associations in my brain now. Anyway, next game, SMT5. Um, really fun from what I played, but the morality system mixed with kind of my mental health not being amazing at the time kind of didn't mesh well, so I had to put the game down. But I absolutely um, am planning to go back to it at some point. Next, One Step Eden, which I got a question mark under that specifically because I think that's this year. I'll talk about it anyway. It's like a Mega Man Battle Network roguelike, and I got quite into it. I thought it was really quite fun, the way of mixing different cards, and like I like to go for indirect damage to kind of just like limit the amount the enemy could do and kind of knock them out from there. And then I played a multiplayer game kind of based on it with a friend, and I got demolished. And that's all my memories for the game. Anyway, this has been super scuffed, and I've been going on for probably another half an hour. If you listened this far, what's wrong with you? But I appreciate you. Have a happy new year. I'll